Here's everything you need to know about the 11th house within your natal chart. And make sure that you stick around until the end of the video where I'll be sharing with you more resources that you can use to master the 12 houses within your natal chart. Within traditional astrology, the 11th house is called the good daimon or the good spirit. The 11th house signifies our friends, our hopes and wishes, and the fulfillment of our desires. However, more often than not within my own astrological practice, when I refer to the 11th house, I use it specifically to represent the amount of money a person can hope to make within their career. This is because the 11th house is the second house from the 10th house, and therefore if the 10th house is representing our career in general, then the second house from the 10th house is also representing the monies that we make from our career. You'd be very right for also thinking that the 11th house represented the wealth of our mother, since the 10th house is the house of the mother within traditional astrology. Therefore, the 11th house does naturally also represent the wealth of our mothers. And the use of the 11th house as the wealth of our mothers comes up more often than not as the exception and not necessarily as the rule within our day-to-day practice of natal astrology. The 11th house has a sextile relationship to the ascendant and therefore is considered to be a benefic house. If we were to apply the Chaldean order of Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, and the Moon to the 12 houses, we find ourselves coming once again to the Sun in the 11th house, which is representative of the bounty, the abundance, and the goodwill that we find represented in our 11th house in general, insofar as our friends as well as the wealth that we make from our careers is concerned. The 11th house is the terrestrial house of joy of Jupiter, which is once again significant because Jupiter is the greater benefic in traditional astrology, which is representative of the fact that we can expect to find nothing other than goodwill, as well as positive social regard from our 11th house, as well as from our 11th house contacts. As a succeedant house, the 11th house technically only has 50% of power to give planets located there in order for them to express their intrinsic natures. However, since the 11th house is above the horizon, as well as having a positive or benefic aspect to the ascendant, planets within the 11th house can often express themselves more readily than if they were to be located in other succeedant houses within our natal charts. From a medical astrology perspective, the 11th house is representing our shins, our calves, and our ankles. If you're enjoying this series on the houses and you would like to receive a free excerpt from my book, Mastering Traditional Astrology, set to publish in spring 2023, as well as never before released free video content from my masterclass series, then sign up for our newsletter down below. If you've enjoyed this video on the 11th house and you want to find out more about money within your own horoscope, then check out this video on the second house.